What's good, everybody? You know who I am, the Supreme Soup, and just wanted to give y'all an update about what I've been going through for the past few weeks because of my lack of posting or posting new content. Haven't really done much of that. I've just been reposting old stuff because, the situation. Old channel gone, new channel still going. What had happened was I actually ended up getting sick with the coronavirus, the COVID, the Rona, the Roro. It was bad. It was pretty bad. I'm going to talk about my experience, why you should all avoid getting it, some hope but some caution that I can deal to the people who are watching this. So, yeah, because of that, haven't been able to post. I know exactly where I got it from because it's the only place I could have got it from, and I was with somebody in a restaurant, pretty much against going in restaurants, but being that I was with someone and that person wanted to go and get something to eat and we were cold, I made a risk calculation, a miscalculation of risk, and went somewhere I shouldn't have. Boom. And I'm sure a lot of people watching this have gone into restaurants as well during this pandemic. So it doesn't make you a bad person. Not a good idea. It hasn't been a good idea for the past 12 months to be in a restaurant. And I ended up going because I was cold and hungry and killed two birds with one stone. And boom, I got sick. I got the Rona. I probably deserved it, that lesson at least, because it could have protected me from getting sick later from a worse strain of the virus. But I'm going to talk about what I went through, and basically what happened was I went with this girl to a restaurant, felt a little uncomfortable in there knowing that it was a bit of a bad idea, and I was like, oh, I shouldn't be in here right now, but whatever. We ate, we went home, parted separate ways. She told me a couple days later she was feeling a bit under the weather, assuming that the walk outside, because originally I wanted to take a walk outside because that's the only thing I want to do when I'm hanging out with a girl. I want to just hang out outside. I don't live with her. I had only met her once before while I was working, and you know that happened. We went for a walk. Wasn't planning on going inside indoors where there were other people. She was thinking that the walk was making her sick. I was thinking, I hope that she's not sick with the virus. A couple days passed, and I had woke up Wednesday, March 24th, and started to feel like I was stuffy and fatigued, my congestion and everything. I went to work and felt okay, a little tired, but after a few hours, I started to feel really just sleepy. So I went, sat down, took a long break, ate some food, and I just pushed through it. I pushed through the whole day, worked until 6 p.m. And at that point, it might have been even later. That point, I was like, damn. Still didn't even realize how bad it was, thinking that the work that I was doing was actually what was making me tired. I was only 6 days away from getting vaccinated. I actually had it scheduled for March 30th. And I guess that was part of why I kind of let my guard down, became a bit careless. It's because I knew I was about to get vaccinated, which makes no sense because why not just hold off and really lock myself down until I get vaccinated? But I didn't. And it kind of bothered me, but I'll talk about that later. So Wednesday, went home, went to bed before midnight, which is very rare for me. Falling asleep before midnight, not normal for me. but I did it, and I was proud of it because I wanted to fix my sleep schedule. I also had a feverish feeling, and then Thursday, I wasn't feeling great waking up. I was still feeling sick, tired. It was mostly fatigue, and I was just like, I'm not gonna work. I'm gonna take the day off. I'm chilling home. And I went and got tested just to be sure as soon as I could. Felt aches in my legs, and at that point it's when I started to worry, because this virus affects people in many different ways. It was worrying me. A lot of people I know don't have symptoms. A lot of people I know that had it didn't have symptoms. Some people did. I was having fatigue. I was feeling aches in my body. And so uh, I got to Thursday, got tested, was worrying about making money, was worrying about missing work, and those were the least of my worries with what was to come. Friday, I got up, I took a hot bath, which made me feel a little bit nauseous. And then I started this number one mistake. If you get sick, if you catch this virus, don't go on Google. Don't Google your symptoms. Don't Google when it's supposed to go away. Don't Google what's going to happen and what's not going to happen, because you're going to find a lot of bad, worst case scenarios that people deal with. Even though there are a lot, it's not rare for people to deal with symptoms for months. It's a bad idea. You're going to find things that scare you. I was definitely worried about the effects that it was going to have on my body. A lot of people do have permanent damage to their organs, to their heart, lungs, kidney, liver, and potentially their brain. Not to freak people out, but that does happen to some people. When my test came back, that's what really made me depressed. The test came back positive. I started freaking out because at that point I knew it was at least another week that I was going to have to stay locked down. Sent me into a little bit of a panic attack. I'll just stay here for 8 days because it already been 2 days, and you're supposed to lock down for at least 10 days. And that's what I did. Knew I had to stay home for a week, so it was tough for me to sleep that night, and that was a bad day. Thursday and Friday were bad days. Saturday, day 4, was a little bit better. I woke up okay, woke up pretty rested, but stressed, knowing that I was sick. And that's what it was like every day, waking up like, damn, I got it. I got the virus. Damn, it's not a dream. And so like, it was hard for me to relax because I was still on the internet, still searching. So I was calling my family, I was calling my mom, I was calling my brother, calling my doctor, and all of them were like, yeah, you gotta chill. Most likely you'll be fine. You're healthy, I'm young, I'm in my 20s. It is possible for someone my age with my health to get badly affected and experience long-term effects, and that's what I was worried about. The fact that I put myself in a situation to get sick, and if I end up paying the price of having to be like this for months or potentially for good, if it damages me, I would have not been able to live with myself, especially if I had gotten other people sick. Because by this point, by Saturday, I was already calling everybody that I was around in the period where I was not showing symptoms, like, yo, I was around you, I tested positive. I called the restaurant that I was at. I was like, yo, get your shit together. Not really. I wasn't like that. I was like, yo, I was in here. I probably got sick from the restaurant. The manager's like, whoa, how you know for sure it was here? Like, no, I know for sure, because me and the person I was with got sick. So I called the girl I was with. I'm like, yo, I just tested positive. You should get tested. You probably have it, and you should definitely not be around anybody right now. And the worst part is, man, the way she handled it, I didn't like the way she handled it, because she was upset that she was not going to be able to spend her birthday with her friends. She's like, no, I'm just going to hang around them. I'm going to tell them once they're in my presence, which is just, If I was that girl's friends, I would immediately block her number, never talk to her again. Because that's not a real friend. It's going to expose you to the coronavirus willingly. No, no, terrible. So I cut that girl off at that point. I'm like, I don't want to talk to her again. She could give me a STD and not tell me about it. Like, if you're gonna give someone the coronavirus without telling them, imagine what you're gonna do to me. Not happening. Nah. For the next several days, I had the illusion of maybe I was short of breath, but not really sure. There were a lot of things that were in my head that potentially uh, affected my physical feelings, which can happen if you're imagining yourself being nauseous or imagining yourself not being able to breathe. It can make you feel like that's what's happening, even if it's in your head. Or it can actually physically affect you. Like my anxiety was very high for the first 2 weeks. I slept okay though for the first few days. My back hurt on Sunday, woke up, tried to get out and walk around. I didn't go outside, just around my house. Physically, things were getting easier every day, and my temperature was going back up. It was also a rainy day. I was feeling relatively good for a rainy night, so that was good. I boiled water for humidity. Eventually, got myself a humidifier, and I felt hungrier than I was the past few days, which was good because I wasn't feeling as hungry the past few days before Sunday, and I did feel obligated to do work, as in terms of getting in front of this camera and doing some type of video for this channel. But either way, I didn't. I don't know. The motivation wasn't at 100%, but I was feeling more like myself. Monday, woke up with stomach cramps, and I didn't have much to do. I didn't know what to do. You don't, and that's the thing, being locked inside your house for several days and having to, you can't even get your own groceries. I think this whole thing has affected me more mentally than physically, which will be that way for a lot of people. I'm reading through my notes. I took notes every day. I highly recommend, if you do get sick, take notes of how you feel every day. If it's bad, if it's not bad, then whatever, just say it doesn't feel like anything. But for me, I had a lot of symptoms. At this point, it's aches in my arm. You know, I had an ache here. I had aches in my legs. I had the fatigue. The fatigue wasn't that bad, but the fever, the first couple days I could feel, and it quickly went away. Tuesday, I went outside. I put my mask on, but I went outside, walked around the block just to see if I was able to breathe normally. If I took a walk, and I was fine. I didn't feel any serious shortness of breath, but felt good to get outside. Then Wednesday, that at this point it's a week. The 8th day is Wednesday. Morning was kind of trash. I woke up, didn't feel rested, and I wanted to go back to sleep, but I just laid there. I didn't want to do anything. And that's, at that point, the breathing felt a little bit tougher. And I was trying to be in denial. I was like, oh, it's just nasal congestion, whatever. And I was drinking lots of tea, lots of ginger, taking vitamins, staying hydrated, eating as much as I could, vegetables, fruits, and I'm just like, whatever, I'll get through it, I guess. Thursday, woke up hungry. Was easier to sleep through the night, but I was eating. I was doing well, and then I started to feel more tired and depressed, and I think the depression was kind of making me overthink my symptoms, but also I was getting new ones. I don't remember if it was Thursday night or Friday night on the 9th or 10th day where I started to have issues breathing during my sleep. And that was the scariest part. That was my least favorite part physically, was falling asleep and I was feeling like I'm not getting enough air, because you don't breathe as much in your sleep. So not breathing as much on top of the fact that your breath is a little bit limited is a bad combination. because it's kind of like a sleep apnea effect. And I was trying to explain that to people. I had a virtual discussion with a doctor. I was calling everybody. I'm like, yo, it helps to have people to talk to, which is my advice. If you have somebody to talk to them. A friend, a family member, a doctor. Call them, talk to them, share your experience, and don't go on the internet. That's the number one thing. Don't go on the internet. You're going to find things that trigger anxiety. So I tried to, but I was trying to remain active most days. I would get up, I would walk around. Friday was one of the worst days. And I was thinking about that night. It was actually Thursday night, Friday morning, which I was thinking about, like, damn, I might have to like call an ambulance or something. I don't know. I was worried. I was really worried at that point because I was waking up every 30 minutes to an hour because I was not getting enough air. Waking up feeling tired, feeling like my body itself was not breathing. And I was shaking. I was getting the shakes, which happens a lot when you get sick. But so Friday night was the same deal. A little bit easier Friday night, but Saturday night was pretty bad. Again, with the difficulty breathing during sleep. Waking up every 30 minutes shaking. I had to lay on my stomach because I knew if you lay on your back, it's a bit more difficult to breathe. That's where your lungs are. You're pressed up against your back. And you don't want to lay on your chest because you feel like that's where the lungs are, but it's actually the best idea to lay on your chest if you're having difficulty breathing in your sleep. I was up a lot of the time. I was trying to listen to relaxing music. I was trying to calm myself down. And I had a lot of things to try to help me with that. I had the ginger, trying to reduce inflammation. I had been prescribed medicine by the walk-in doctor and prednisone, reduce inflammation, and I think it helped. But I ended up going to the ER. I drove myself to the ER and got myself checked out. And I really just feel more comfortable in a hospital if I'm not sure of how I'm doing. They checked me out. They x-rayed me. Didn't find anything wrong. But just the physical experience, the feeling, regardless of how damaged I got, if anything at all, I was just trying to make sure I was good. And there's a lot of people who have serious health issues who are probably like, yeah, you're being a punk about it. But it's like, no, if you're concerned about yourself, go get checked out. You know, you're probably not going to need to breathe on a ventilator, but if it helps calm you down, go see a doctor. Go to a hospital. You know, call them first. But of course, you know, I was in a situation where my quarantine has technically ended, but I still felt terrible. Most of the terrible feelings happened after that 10-day period. And Sunday afternoon was probably the worst day because I was sleeping. I was taking naps every day, midday, taking naps. And that was the worst because I knew I didn't have energy. I would wake up feeling deprived of oxygen, a little dizzy. Even like the first night that happened, I was getting up, you know, wheezing, stumbling around, dizzy. My head felt cold and tingly. And I was also having strange nerve sensations, sensitivity in my teeth. Anytime I had something hot or cold in my mouth, there was sensitivity. I would bite on my vitamins, and I felt the sharp sensitivity in my teeth, which was definitely strange. A lot of strange symptoms, and I was worried about it. But everything started to get better after Sunday. At that point, at its worst, it had me thinking, like, I really don't think this is worth suffering through. I don't want to do this. Like, I was about to jump out the window. I was terrified. But I made a call. I called some friends. I hit up a group chat that I'm in, just shared people like, yo, I'm having a tough time right now. And they talked me through it. They helped me feel better. And mentally it was just the biggest struggle. Being stuck in your own house for so long makes it feel like it's not your home. It makes everything feel different. Even when you go out now, every all your favorite places to go to, your favorite hangouts inside and outside your home don't feel like home, don't feel familiar. And that's normal when you're sick. You even feel that way after you go leave home for a while, but and the stress, the anxiety, it was tough. But at that point, Monday, day 13, I began to feel better. I was officially on the, downhill or the uphill, whatever terminology you want to use, started to feel better. And that was a week ago. And for the past week, every day has been getting better and more normal. I've been getting my stamina back. There were a couple days where I would go out, take a walk, maybe shoot some hoops by myself, and come home tired, like I wanted to sleep around 6 or 7 p.m. And that worried me because I didn't want to have my stamina be affected potentially for a long time. A lot of people say they haven't been the same after they got it, after they caught the virus, and that worried me. I'm not motivated to do anything. I'm too tired to get out of bed, and it's only 7 p.m. Not normal. I'm usually up around 6 a.m. And for those 2.5 weeks, it was before midnight or earlier, 10 p.m. I would just lay in bed until it got dark out because I didn't feel comfortable going to bed with the sun still up or light outside. So it was tough, but I got out. I gradually just did a little bit more each day, more walking, got on an exercise bike, started doing that, and started building myself back up. And the past 2 days, I have not had any issues. I've been feeling back to my normal self. The only lingering issue right now is after working out, I get a bit of a headache, and that's only if it's like a moderate to more intense. I haven't really gotten the intense workouts in. That's my only concern. I gotta see how my body responds to an intense workout. But I've gone to work, I've been on an exercise bike, I've been doing rehearsals and been staying up later. This is like, what time is it? It's almost 5 a.m. And that's good because that's how I normally am. I'm normally up at 5 a.m. And so this is me. This is how I am. So that's where we're at right now. It's been well past my isolation period. And my advice to people is don't freak out. But my more important advice is wear a mask. Don't go into a restaurant, obviously. Don't make my mistake. Luckily, I'm on my way to recovery. It's pretty clear at this point. I'm bouncing back fully and relatively quickly. And I'm going to, in a couple weeks, probably start with my more intense exercises that I usually do. But it's been a scary couple weeks. And for some of you all who might be experiencing long-term symptoms, still haven't recovered, I wish the best for you. I don't know exactly how you've been trying to recuperate, if anything, but my experience, I've just been gradually building myself back up, and it's going real well for the past week. And if it's been any indication, I'm going to be fine, and I wish everyone the best. I hope everyone gets vaccinated. You might be against vaccination. I'm disappointed that I got sick right before I was supposed to get vaccinated. So, speaking as someone who's had the virus, don't get sick. If you got to choose between a shot in the arm and, or two shots in the arm, and actually getting the virus, definitely get the shots. Most of the people I know at this point who are around me have gotten vaccinated, at least partially or fully. And there's a little discomfort, there's a little, fatigue that follows, potentially some minor discomfort and feeling like you might have a cold, but that goes away quickly. And it's nothing in comparison to what the virus can actually do to you. It can make you feel like you can't breathe. That's how it made me feel. It can make you feel fatigued after doing simple tasks and not have the capacity to do things you love. That's how I was for a couple weeks. And it could have been a lot worse. I guess I got lucky. And I'm really glad that it didn't harm me in the long run. So that's just a little bit of what you can expect. You might not feel anything. You might feel a lot. You might be in the hospital. You might potentially be at risk of dying. And I just want to wish everybody the best. Be safe. Get vaccinated as soon as you possibly can, because this is not it. This is a bad sickness, bad illness that has profoundly affected me and made me think about life, made me wonder what I'm doing, rethink everything I'm doing. And I just feel like I had to make this video to inform people what it might be like, how it might affect them, and to kind of raise awareness. Be safe. Try to stick out these last few months and get vaccinated. I was advised I should wait 90 days since I've already been sick to get vaccinated. And the way I feel is like I just want to go out and get it now, because I'm that worried. And I don't want to freak people out, but I don't think people should be freaked out or terrified. I just think, people should be more careful. I should be more careful. And I definitely learned a lesson from that. And it can happen to anybody. Those feelings can happen to anybody, regardless how healthy you are. So, only got a few more months though. I think if people be careful, hold out for a few months, don't go to parties, don't go to crazy gatherings with a bunch of people not wearing masks. Go to the beach, but don't go to like crazy fucking packed crowds. Just be safe. Just use your best judgment and get that vaccine as soon as I can. I will. So that's the plan. That's the plan. Hope y'all stay safe. Thank you for watching. I feel like I had to also give the people on this page, the supporters of this page, an excuse to why I haven't been posting lately. But we back and better than ever. Check out these videos next to me. Subscribe to these channels if you can. I'd appreciate that. And my Patreon is also below, down in the description. Thank you all for watching. Much love to you all. Peace.